trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
Good evening. I'm Coulter Wonkite. I'm already into the 420, damn it.
You like music, you like weed, well, we gonna be good friends indeed. This is how much I like more than smoking trees. They'll make you dance the do-si-do and teach you how the chiva grows. Smoke a bowl on the 420 radio show. On Lifestyle Radio.
On cannabis. Don't you want a car that runs on cannabis? Don't you want a car that runs on cannabis? Don't you want a car that runs on cannabis? You got a nice life. You got a nice wife. You're working hard for your money. You got to save to survive, but the gas prices never cease to rise. Don't you want a car that runs on cannabis? Don't you want a car that runs on cannabis? Don't you want a car that runs on cannabis? Don't you want a car that runs on cannabis? But can you run a car on cannabis? Henry Ford, he invented the design. How nice it would be to not smell like gasoline every time I'd take my car for a ride. Do 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 do. Don't you want a car that runs on cannabis? Don't you want a car that runs on cannabis? Don't you want a car that runs on cannabis? Don't you want a car that runs on cannabis? And my wife, she would agree. Use cannabis for paper and not a tree. Use cannabis for clothing instead of cotton. It even grows wild without the pesticides that give us cancer. Don't you want a car that runs on cannabis? Ufona, akuya kule cannabis. Ufona, akuya kule cannabis. Ufona, akuya kule cannabis. Some people say that oil pollutes and drilling into the ground is killing our roots.
Baba kitobya kumnyamazana sukezana masoga ushobora mwashumi nikebi shirele kanakanda wobyabtablo terenyana waza.
All the farmers in Iraq could be taken on food, but instead they're drilling for oil. It's the government's rule, but we could easily be a hero just to make hemp production legal. Don't you want a car that runs on cannabis? Don't you want a car that runs on cannabis? Don't you want
started.
Song's playing.
See?
That's a really good
Don't
song.
you hear the echo? That was Ellen informing me that we were 3 minutes overdue. That was Cannabis Car by Aviva and the Flying Penguins.
Really cool song. I like it.
Now, there's going to be a little bit of confusion today because we got a whole lot of people in here. And so I'm gonna count people down. I am Mr. R. We have Mr. S. We have Mr. G. We have Mrs. M. and Mrs. F. That would be you, Ellen. Mrs. F.
That would be Ms.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Ms. Are you a Ms. yet or a Miss? There, Lori.
Ms.
The safe correct term is Ms. If you're not sure, Ms.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I'm not politically correct. We were just talking about that before we came on the air, actually. Lori's here with us for the first time in a little while since she quit. Gotta be honest.
Since she just up and bailed.
Since I just up and out.
And Marcel, you should come on to be a host with us. It would be awesome.
Lori, shut up, Marcel. And I don't know if you've noticed, but that is the voice of Brian. I am sure you remember Brian.
Yep.
Hey, Brian.
Yep.
What's up?
So Brian is back, and so let's count down where everybody is here. Brian smokes a lot. Used to do the show with me way back when. Fired him too, but he's back now.
Yeah.
And all we need now is Dave, and we can have a reunion.
Oh God.
Anyways, so now we've got a voice in the U.S. again with Brian being in Arkansas. We've got lots of voices tonight as well from out east of Canada in Nova Scotia. We've got Marcel and Alan's out there, and Bob Dillman's going to be sitting with us today as well. And
cool.
And I'm in Ontario, and so is Lori. So we got Canada covered and the U.S. today.
Yeah, and as you can be in Ontario, we're like 6 hours apart from each other, and you're only halfway across the province, right?
Yeah, we don't have anybody representing from out west because I don't know what color they wear, and I don't know if I'm allowed to associate with them or anything. And I'm sorry, I wasn't going to say it. I'm really getting sick of this bully shit. That's all I'm going to say about that. But anyways, welcome back, guys, and Marcel. We're going to have a really good show tonight. And
it'll be interesting.
Out of honoring the one and only Mr. B.B. King, I'm playing some B.B. King, and if any of B.B. King's people or any record companies have any problem with that, sue me. And we'll be back. I'm gonna put on some The Thrill Is Gone from 1971. This is B.B. King. This is the 420 Radio Show. Come on in, lifestyleradio.net, and say hello, ask a question, tell us to fuck off, tell us we don't know what we're talking about. Breathe. We'll be back in a minute.
Industry has begun piling honors on B.B. King with Grammy Awards and special tributes. To most of us, this is a long overdue recognition of one of the truly great blues artists of our time. We feel very honored to have him with us on our show tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the inimitable Mr. B.B. King.
impossible thing to do.
So, like, we're back, eh? And this is a Canadian show, eh? How's it going, eh? All we need is Bob and Doug, and we're great.
No, I'm not doing that.
What's going on? Oh, let's do Cheech and Chong then. What's going on, man?
Dave's not here.
Dave's not here. No, Dave's not here. He left
Dave's
us.
not here.
He quit.
Jesus.
He got fired.
I like this strain.
Oh, gosh.
Anyways,
what's this strain called?
This is the 420 Radio Show. We are live on lifestyleradio.net. And no, my name is not Russ.
Oh, are people still getting you mixed up with Russ?
Yes, they do. We're going to be chatting with Bob Dillman. And we're going to be talking to him about what happened, yesterday? Bob.
Day before yesterday. And today. Yeah. So they had a press conference. They had a press conference just a few hours ago. And Marcel said that I should play some of the press conference, and I said, fuck that shit, just ask Bob to come on. So Bob will be joining us as soon as Marcel decides to call him. And
no pressure, Marcel.
Lori's got her chair, and Brian's got his chair, and I've got my couch.
I got a couch.
I was going to say I've got my couch.
I'm on the couch today.
If you're first time,
that's okay. Don't mention me. I'm not even here.
I wasn't.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about me.
Hey, sigh. What I was going to say is, and Ellen will be joining us later on, not now, later, with the news. And we're going to try not to talk about any of it.
Other than Bob.
We're not going to talk about any news. This is the show. This is going to be the show today.
We're not going to talk about any news? Oh.
All right. I'm going to call Bob, but nobody make fun of him, okay?
Okay. And I want to do
you stop calling him Hannibal Lecter.
Why?
Oh, the mask, yes.
Not his fault he looks like it. It's more of a Bane mask.
Hello, Hannibal. How are you?
How's it going?
Not bad. We got Bob Dillman now joining the circus that is the 420 Radio Show today on lifestyleradio.net. Hello, Bob. How are you?
Not too bad now.
Yeah, that's good. Bob's joining us by phone because he broke his computer and he couldn't figure out how to get his mic to work.
Yeah, well, I got stoned and that just happened. So, no, I don't know anything about this technical crap.
You know that stoning is illegal in Canada, right?
Yeah, well.
Meditating.
Over-medicating.
Yeah.
Medicating, yes. Yeah. So, I want to jump right into it because, as I said a few minutes ago, Marcel said that I should play some of your press conference this afternoon. I said, fuck that shit. So now you're here. Give us a lowdown of what's happened because it's really good news.
Okay, well, basically, I went in with my wife to hear what the judge had to say and find out how far along the courts are going to screw us around. And the Crown sets up and says, Your Honor, we're withdrawing the charges in relation to the fact that we don't have evidence.
Did they smoke?
And I was well, this is it. They said they don't have evidence. I said to myself, I'm thinking, well, what the fuck was it you took out of my house?
Hey, now hold on.
That's not evidence.
Who just beeped that fuck? Okay, somebody just beeped.
I don't know, but that was almost perfect timing.
That was almost perfect.
It was, wasn't it?
Do we have a censor?
Okay.
Go on, Bob.
All right. But anyway, Yeah, so I'm sitting there trying to think, well, what did you take out of my house if that's not evidence? Anyway, they said that the charges were dropped. So it's like you can't even get arrested now. You know, if they want to play this game, they can't. I mean, geez, I told that I'm going to complain about everything now.
Oh, I would too, for sure.
Okay, so for people listening that may not know that the 4-story, Bob's been trying to get arrested for a long time.
Hey, if you need any pointers, Bob, I can give you a hand.
No. See, what you're saying there, it sounds like, oh, Bob's been, like thumbing his nose at cops. No, I went into the main office in downtown Halifax, walked in, told them I want to be arrested.
That's what I said.
If you're going to arrest me now, get it done and over with. And that was over a year ago. The man sits me down, what was his name, Fritz Sanford.
Yep.
Yeah, he was the policing services director of Nova Scotia here. He sits me down for an hour and a half. I explained to him the whole story, right? And, I mean, you can ask Marcel. I would do this. So I just explained the whole thing out to him. He emailed me back saying, don't you worry about a thing. No patients will ever be arrested. So, okay, I just took it at that. A year later, I get busted for the same thing, for the same people, and I showed the printout to the cop that arrested me. Here's the printout of the email. The man just, he's just getting paid to come in and bust a patient. That's all he's doing, so he doesn't care.
Pretty much exactly what it is.
Yeah.
How did the cops behave? Were you satisfied with their behavior? Were they?
Oh, he was very courteous and everything, but I mean, it's like Al Capone said, you can do more with a smile and a gun than you can with just a smile.
True.
And that's exactly the way it was. 8 armed people invaded my home illegally and took my property with the consent of the government. So there was 8 officers in here, but I could only get 5 names.
It was a big grow up.
Oh yeah, big grow up.
You had 19 plants?
Yeah, 19 plants that were left over.
Well, in a bedroom or something.
That's valued, according to Health Canada, 19 plants is about, what, $20,000?
$19,000.
$1,000 a plant?
$1,000.
Yep.
And did you get them back?
Did I what?
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, did you get it back? I was going to ask you that.
Did they give them back?
Oh, hell, I haven't gotten anything back. I'm still in shock over not going to jail.
The charges dropped, yeah, for sure.
Because now what you'll have to do is apply to the court to have that property returned to you.
Yeah.
Or its value.
No, I had seen something about a comment from someone at the courthouse regarding the fact this was sort of like unheard of, that this was happening, and now all of a sudden it's happening a lot.
Yeah, the court-assigned legal aid lawyer, she said to me before we went in, she said, I've never seen this happen before, and since you, she says, I've been watching it happen like repeatedly, like dominoes, right across the province.
Can I ask a question?
They're trying to avoid a precedent.
What is happening with Chris and Jess? With their whole thing, is that still going on?
Oh, that's still ongoing.
Is it still going?
Yeah,
that's still ongoing.
Yeah. It's really murky, isn't it?
And what is going to happen?
Oh, absolutely murky.
What's going to happen with Jess and Chris's situation is the same thing that's happened to everybody else's situation.
Fill our listeners in, Marcel, on what Chris and Jess's
well, their dispensary was raided, and then they were raided again at the new dispensary. So they got a kind of a double whammy at them.
Are they open again? Are they open now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Of course they are. Patients need medicine, and it's also a shop and a vapor lounge, so people go there to medicate.
I think that's something that people don't realize. That
right. So I mean, Chris is doing it for the right reason. He's doing it for the patients. He knows the patients need it, so he's going to keep doing it. The prosecutor, of course, is going to keep pushing and pushing in court until the point the prosecutor realizes he's going to lose. Because these are charter challenges, and Bob was going to do a charter challenge, it's easier to just back out and drop all the charges than to lose the charter challenge.
They just won't let you have any help, any fun at all, will they, Bob?
They don't want.
No, they won't. I was all fired up. I was all set to go. Charter challenge. Here we go.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they dropped the ceiling on us.
Fucking
like
kills.
We're seeing it more and more now
crazy,
in this province with I mean, we've had a lot of people arrested here, but we have a high percentage of people that need it and use it.
Why the fuck are they arresting them then? If they're not going to charge them and follow through, why are they fucking arresting them?
It's easy.
Because it's easy.
A sick person that is using cannabis as a medicine is not a violent threat. So police can just come in and take what they want and leave and charge you. How they do it is
they, Marcel, or do they are they following orders? Like, you know,
they are following orders. They're being told to go and do it.
Well, they are. They're just doing what they're told to do. Yeah.
Right, and that's the cop out that the police can use. I was just following orders. Well, the Gestapo said the same thing in Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
Well, see, here's something else that the common people don't really understand, and that is the arresting officer has the authority to take a look at the evidence before him and say, you know, this is a patient. I am not going to arrest this person because they're obviously not a criminal.
Yeah.
They can use common sense. They're allowed to do this. I know this because I'm a former corrections officer. I know what they're allowed to do, and I know that they had this Constable Martin, who was in charge of the whole deal. He had the authority to walk in, take a look. Okay, Bob's got, you know, a stack of papers here from court. He's also got a stack of papers here from doctors. He's wearing a mask.
I was going to ask you to back step a second, if you don't mind, Bob. Explain. I mean, I joke the Hannibal Lecter thing, but explain what your condition is, please, because Bob has to wear a mask just to go outside.
Yeah, I wear a mask everywhere I go outside because I have multiple chemical sensitivities surrounding petrochemicals, which are in all pharmaceuticals. I can't take even a baby aspirin without getting sick. So I have to use cannabis for pain and other inflammation problems like my fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome and whatnot. So I have to take it. If I don't have it, I wouldn't last more than 3 months.
Wow.
My body, like just having the low amount of access that I do have now since they took my plants, I've been dropping weight. I've dropped 25 pounds since April 1st.
Are you out of medication?
Well, I have access to some, but not as much as I did when I was growing it, obviously, because I have to pay for it, and I don't have enough money to pay for it. So I just get by with what I can afford, which isn't much. And it's going down fast.
We're joking around and we're having fun and all that, but this is really serious. This is about Bob's life here. And are you going to be able to get a grow off this year?
I have no idea, but I'm going to be looking to get someone to grow for me because where I'm moving to now, I just don't have the room to try it again in my own apartment.
Yeah. Well, I hope that you do find that, bud. And there's a lot. We
need to find you a nice farmer that's got some nice room in his backyard.
Yeah, that's exactly what I need.
Yep.
We need about 10,000 of those, I think.
Because then you get nice, clean, organic, no chemicals, no pesticides.
Yeah.
You get something that would actually be healthy for you.
Well, this is it. I mean, it's just like carrots. As a matter of fact, it's safer for you than carrots.
Yeah.
So why don't everyone just grow them?
Exactly.
That's true.
But, I mean, that's common sense, and that's going to take a long time after 80 years of very successful propaganda.
Yeah.
It's amazing, the main difference being that people's lives don't depend on having access to carrots.
Yes.
Yeah.
It certainly is.
Like, that's one thing I have to strongly reiterate what Al said, is that this is a critical medicine for so many people. Either they have been unable to take other pharmaceutical medicines, or seizure conditions. There's so many people that can actually die from a seizure if they don't have access to their cannabis. And then when the government came in with this new program, so many growers just threw up their hands and went, oh well, sorry, done.
You know what? I've lost 2 patients in the last week, and I have a friend's mom in the hospital right now with lung cancer and Lynch syndrome. And so when somebody says, we got to do more, it's not we got to do more, we got to stop this shit. This is getting critical now, and it's not just here in Canada; it's around the world.
It is.
Very true.
People are dying. I'm getting so sick of people dying around me who can be helped by cannabis, and some of them, I have to say, it's their choice not to use it. But if it wasn't so fucking hard to get,
or the stigma attached to it either,
Well,
if it was available in a fucking pharmacy, they would be taking it right now, and they'd still be alive. Let's be honest.
Al, I can't agree with you any more than this, because I'll tell you, my youngest sister, she got injured about the same time I did with the lower back injury, the same area and everything. She was put on a full drug, pharmacological fucking, all the pills there, and she ended up hanging herself. Because of all the psychotropic drugs they add on to it, because your body really can't handle these pharmaceuticals that they use.
I know.
Then on top of that, I've watched other relatives of mine dropping like flies due to the same thing.
Same thing happened with my father.
Yeah.
Pharmaceuticals, and add that to a mental illness, and you've got a perfect storm, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, that's true, and I have to say that's one thing that bothers me so much about the health minister's position, where she keeps reiterating over and over about psychosis and schizophrenia, when, like, I'm aghast that people don't have any concept of where your head goes when you're chronically or critically ill and you have no hope of ever getting better, and the medical profession goes, oh, sorry, we can't help you.
You know what? One of the things I still really want to do is start having patient success stories, specifically mental health patients, because I'm a
mental health's a big thing.
Yeah, but Marcel, I'm a mental health patient. I have full-blown severe ADHD. I'm on disability for it. When I don't have cannabis, I can hardly function, and I either want to curl up in a ball and cry or punch you in the fucking head. Literally.
This is why you need some organization in Ontario and do what we've been doing down here. Because, back in March we did the Brain Health Matters panel discussion on PTSD and mental health with cannabis.
Yeah.
We're doing another one now in Prince Edward Island next month.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm very proud of what you guys are doing down there.
So what we're doing is we're going out and teaching the public and hopefully the doctors and the politicians that there's other options other than pharmaceuticals that don't work.
And like we have discussed so many times, I really believe that the focus we have to start hammering home to people is how much money we save the taxpayers by using cannabis.
Yep.
Because, Marcel, you said yourself, you and your doctor had figured out how much you save. I was looking at pharmaceutical pricing just like in the last few days compared to when I was on the mate years ago. Oh yeah, it's got to be close to $100,000 a year now that I'm saving the taxpayers too.
Yeah, geez, I just got a prescription filled the other day. It was $1,000 for oxycodone. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah, I was probably at $400 easily a month.
Wait, $1,000 for oxys? Go fucking sell them and get yourself a pound, dude.
Yeah, right?
Seriously, you'd be better off because that's basically what that's very likely what happened with a lot of patients here.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you right now, Dr. Al-Beshti, sorry, but Dr. Al-Beshti was my doctor. This guy, he looked me straight in the eye. He says, I can't in all right mind sign for your cannabis because he says it's addictive. It's dangerously addictive. And then he, in the same breath, he hands over a prescription for Percocet.
You know, Bob, my doctor told me...
That's when you say, I can trade this for pot, thanks.
My doctor told me, you can use cannabis all you want, but you can't smoke it, you'll get cancer.
Oh, my.
This is really something that we need to, and this is why we need to get doctors and patients, that patients that actually have experience together, and politicians too. We can say, you know what, there is a small group of patients that if you give them Percocet or OxyContin, they're going to go out and they're going to sell it so they can buy pot, because pot works, and then other stuff doesn't.
And then they get arrested for selling drugs and become labeled drug dealers.
Right?
Yeah, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Which of course totally negates you from the cannabis treatment therapy that's provided by the government because you're a criminal now.
Oh, and down here you can't get any help once you're a felon. You can't get Medicaid or Medicare or anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
Well, I know when they started having the consultation meetings, the first round back in 2011, very few, I'd say probably under 10 patients managed to get into those meetings. And the one I got into, I remember telling Health Canada with no uncertain terms that you patients will go and ask for cannabis and the doctors will say, no, you can't have that, but here's some OxyContin. And they're sitting there looking at a bottle of OxyContin that they paid $2 for because it was supplemented, and they didn't want it in the first place. They wanted cannabis. And then go to the street and get $2 a milligram for the OxyContin and trade it for the cannabis they wanted in the first place. And then the guy that got it on the street will sell it to anybody with $1 a milligram, and kids die.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's what they're doing.
Yep.
And people keep on going around saying, the cops are just following orders. The cops know better, and they're just doing it because it's the easy way out. They're busting patients because they know the patients aren't going to fight them. They're not going to start something.
As far as statistics go, for every patient who has medical need who is arrested here in Canada, there should be 100 without the ability to say, I use it as medicine. Now, if that's not happening, if there's not 100 quote-unquote grow-ops that are rated for every medical garden and 100 quote-unquote dealers arrested for every patient, then, they're taking the easy way out.
Yeah.
If you've got something to say about our conversation, if you'd like to join us in the conversation, you can tweet us at the 420 Radio Show, hashtag It's Your Lifestyle, or come to lifestyleradio.net and join us in the chat room. I'm having fun. And I got some more BB King lined up.
and we're going to have a pee. We're only 30 minutes into the show. I feel like I've been sitting here for hours already. It's kind of like
it's a great time.
It's a really good movie. Anyway,
yeah, really.
I got Lucille lined up here. Some BB King. Rest in peace.
Hey, do you know the story behind Lucille?
No, please tell me.
He was playing at a little club in Arkansas, and there was a fire, and everybody got out except for 2 people. And BB went back in to get his guitar, and one of the people that died was named Lucille, so that's what he named his guitar after.
Really?
Thanks for that.
Yeah, thanks for that. Now let's listen to it. This is the 420 Radio Show. We're live on lifestyleradio.net. We'll be back in 10 minutes or so with some more talk. We're talking about pot, not marijuana, pot. I don't hear nobody saying anything. All right, we'll be right back.
The sound that you're listening to is from my guitar that's named Lucille. I'm very crazy about Lucille. Lucille took me from the plantation. Or you might say, brought me fame. I don't think I could just talk enough about Lucille. Sometime when I'm blue, it seems like Lucille trying to help me call my name. I used to sing spirituals, and I thought that this was the thing that I wanted to do. But somehow or other, when I went in the army, I picked up on Lucille, started singing the blues. Well, now when I'm paying my dues, maybe you don't know what I mean when I say paying dues. I mean when things are bad with me. I can always, you know, like, depend on Lucille. Sort of hard to talk to you myself. I guess I'll let Lucille say a few words and then... You know, I doubt if you can feel it like I do. But when I think about the things that I've gone through, like, well, for instance, if I have a girlfriend and she misuses me, and I go home at night, maybe I'm lonely. Well, not maybe, I am lonely. I pick up Lucille, and it bring out those funny sounds that sound good to me, you know. Sometimes I get to a place where I can't even say nothing. Look out. Sometimes I think it's crime. I could sing pop tunes like Frank Sinatra or Sammy Davis Jr., I don't think I still could do it. But Lucille don't want to play nothing but the blues. I think I'm pretty glad about that. Cause don't nobody sing to me like Lucille. Sing, Lucille. I'll put it like this. Take it easy, Lucille. I like the way Sammy sings, and I like the way Frank sings. But I can get a little Frank, Sammy, a little Ray Charles. In fact, all the people with soul in this. Mahalia Jackson in that. One more, Lucille. Take it easy now. You know, I imagine a lot of you want to know why I call the guitar Lucille. Lucille have practically saved my life 2 or 3 times. No kidding, really has. I remember once I was in an automobile accident, and when the car stopped turning over, it fell over on Lucille. And it held it up off of me, really, it held it up off of me. So that's one time it saved my life. The way I came by the name of Lucille, I was over in Twist, Arkansas. I know you've never heard of that one, have you? And one night, the guy started a ball over there, you know, started brawling, you know what I mean. And the guy that was mad with this old lady, when she fell over on this gas tank that was burning for heat, the gas ran all over the floor. And when the gas ran all over the floor, the building caught on fire and almost burned me up trying to save Lucille. I imagine you're still wondering why I call it Lucille. The lady that started that brawl that night was named Lucille. And that's been Lucille ever since to me. One more now, Lucille. Can I do one more? like I try one more.
I didn't want to wait any longer. They're bugging
I'm here,
me
Laura. You got to stay too.
We need one more girl. How many guys we got? 1, 2,
yes, we
3,
do.
4. We need 2 more girls.
Too many.
Oh goodness.
I've been saying that for most of my life.
I knew somebody was going to make.
But you need 2 more girls.
Yeah. Just 2 more. Just 2 more.
We can have an 8.
Just 2 more. No more than that.
Yeah, I'm not greedy. Just 2 more.
Yeah, I wish I won the $1 million. I only want 1 million. You can keep the other 20. Just give me 1, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not greedy. Just
that's reasonable.
Give me enough to get me to Uruguay.
Yeah.
Why Uruguay?
Oh, be perfect, ideal temperature.
Yeah.
Why Uruguay?
Oh, be perfect, ideal temperature for my MS. Plus, a super long outdoor growing season.
Where was that? Uruguay?
Yeah. And they got penguins.
Yeah, penguins in Uruguay. I thought that was so cool.
Are they legal? Are they legal there?
Yes.
Yeah.
All drugs are legal there, ain't they?
Penguin?
No, cannabis.
But penguins are legal.
You know, I was looking at a map this week.
Well, penguins are birds, so.
Marcel?
We know that.
I was looking at a map. Hello?
Yeah.
Yes?
I was looking at a map this week about all, them guys down there where Brian lives in the States, okay? And, Brian, how many states... I believe there's only 2 states now that have nothing to do with cannabis still, right?
No, there's like 7 or... there's actually still quite a good handful.
Oh, really? Because the way this map was laid out. Now, I didn't read the article attached to it, but the way the map looked at it had legal states and for rec, and then legal states for medical, and legal states.
There's a lot of states that are putting in for medical right now.
For CBD,
would probably take it down to 2 or 3 that don't have.
Okay, so that's what it was for. It was showing if all of this goes 3, there'll only be 2 states left that aren't, right?
Yep, and I live in one of them.
Oh my gosh, really? That few, eh?
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
But it depends. You also have to look at it, what those states are putting through for legislature, because a lot of them are putting through that CBD only.
Well, that's
oil.
that was part of it. Yes,
and that's not the answer, and that's not going to be of a benefit to the majority of the patients that need cannabis.
No. I saw something last. Sorry. I was going to say I saw something last week about one of the kids who was doing so well on high CBD. I believe it was actually Charlotte's Web, and it could actually have been Charlotte. I think it was in Weed 3. There was one little tiny 1-second clip where they said something about the fact that it wasn't having the same effect it was for the first couple of months. And I'm suspecting maybe because...
I was trying to have James's mom on at some time soon. She's just been having such a lovely time because James is a little guy that Lori and I have been helping his mom just kind of guide her, and he is now legal down in California. And
excellent.
He is gone. He suffers from seizures, and I believe he's got a host of other issues. I don't want to quote on them because I'm not sure what they are. But this little man, when I met his mom first, a friend of mine said, you need to help this lady, so I started talking to her, and we got him on ACDC, which is a CBD only, right? And he went from 200 seizures a day, 200 seizures a week, like 20 or so a day, and down to none. And then he had surgery, and he started having a rough time, and they had him on all these, like I don't know. Lori would know more about the.
So
drugs.
I'm going to throw a scientific question at you, Al.
Okay.
What if the CBDs are only controlling the seizures?
And that's what I was just going to say.
And
okay,
the THC is actually needed to repair the damage.
And that's I was just going there. We had talked, and I think that I guess Lori had talked to her as well about it. She has in a lot of groups and stuff like that, so she's getting the support that she needs. But she also knows, because he has a lot of pain involved from other issues, that the THC isn't there and it's not helping him. So he's still on the painkillers, and I guess Dilaudid and all that kind of crap. And
so then get him off of the painkiller crap and put him on pure cannabis oil or full extract cannabis oil. So it's whole plant extract.
I believe that's where they're heading to. They are involved in the United Patient Group, and they have help from Aunt Zelda's. And so, I mean, my point is, this little man has gone from being confined in a bed or a wheelchair, and his mom being scared shitless that he's going to have a seizure and not get out of it. And
this is where I want to rant.
This little guy is just like doing so good. It's unreal. He's smiling. He's out and about with his mom as he should be. He's not just laying in a fucking bed. Okay?
Yep. And this is what drives me around the bend. We've got kids and we've got grown-ups that say, this is what helps me, and they don't want to believe you, or they tell themselves that they don't want to believe you. But you don't take Dilantin anymore. You don't take painkillers anymore. You're not taking huge mega drugs. You're not doing that. All you're saying is, give us a little bit of cannabis. All we need is 10, 15, 20, 5, 3, whatever, grams a day. That's all we need. We're not going to get addicted. Government studies have already shown that. We're not going to die. None of this awful stuff is going to happen to us or anybody else around us. We just want to grow a plant or have somebody else grow a plant and give it to our children or take it ourselves. But they say, you're evil, this is bad, this is a drug, you're going to get addicted, you're going to ruin society, the whole country is going to fall apart because you have arthritis, you have migraines, you have MS, you have
doesn't matter, it's all the same thing, it's all cannabinoid deficiency.
Yep.
Yeah. And this is what drives me crazy. They don't believe you. If OxyContin worked, people would say, give me the OxyContin.
I think see, down here, it's not really that a lot of them don't believe you. It's the laws, because until they reschedule it, they can't do shit about it.
Right, and this is the problem in Canada. And so the doctors,
that's right,
Canada, they all claim the same thing, that we need more studies. The problem is, you can't do studies because the role on the schedule makes it non-medical. So that it's not allowed to be used.
You've got 40,000 people. How many of those 40,000 people, let's say you just took
But that's not a study that's paid for by a pharmaceutical company, and that's the only thing that they accept, because that's the ones that have the money.
Yeah, and it doesn't make any difference. Let's use common sense. Let's use what our grandfathers used. Let's use what we use in our own homes.
And this is why we're teaching people, and this is why public opinion is swaying so much now.
And that's why they need to use us. They need to tell who, as much as I hate to admit, Marcel is a druggie, obviously, because he uses cannabis. But if they took Marcel, who knows more about cannabis than anybody I know on the face of this earth, from everything that I've read, and believe me, I've read everything I can read, Marcel knows. Take Marcel, put him in a room with 20 doctors, and let him talk. And then take some of the kid with epilepsy, and take me, and my migraine medication, and take whoever with arthritis
Somebody's vibrator just let go.
Hopefully, now that it's actually recreationally legal in Washington, D.C., and medically legal in Washington, D.C., hopefully the Compassionate Access Act will pass. They put in to reschedule it so we can actually get it out there and legally.
Yeah. Now, this will piss a lot of people off. I don't care about the people that use it recreationally, although, mind you, I'd far rather my children use that than use booze. But I'm concerned with the people that need it rather than use these heavy, awful pharmaceuticals that kill your liver and kill your kidneys and kill every other part of your body and addict you to them for big bucks. These are the people that need help. Talk to the people that actually have been there and that actually know. I could still be taking big painkillers and things to stop seizures and things to stop migraines and things to stop arthritis. I take all that for my $400, $500, $600 a month. But no, rather than my insurance company having to pay this, I'll put 20 plants in my backyard. And I'll grow them and I'll store them in my freezer all winter. And that will look after me. Nobody knows what I do.
I'll do you one better. I'll put 1,000 plants in my backyard and I will share them with people that need it.
Yeah, that's what I'd love to do.
Exactly.
Right?
And we don't hurt anybody.
Anyways,
we're not in
since I'm
the
voice of sanity here and without the ADHD, we still have Bobby on the phone.
Yes.
Yes.
Bob.
Yes.
And I have a question for Bob.
Okay.
I listened to the press conference. What's your next step, dude?
Yeah, really.
I am going to be looking for a lawyer, and I am going to be seeing what the lawyer can do to have charges brought against the police officers for violating my rights. I want that Fred Sanford to be held accountable, because if that man said what was true, then I wouldn't have been arrested. I want all of my material back. If not, I want financial compensation for said material. It's the same thing as if they did anything else wrong, you'd be compensated for it. And that's what I think all patients should be, compensated for being bullied by the government.
And we owe you a great thank you, Bob, for going through all this for us.
Yes, definitely.
We really do.
There's only one reason why I do it, and that's because a man named John Cook did it for me.
Thank you, Bob. Yes, wonderful.
Yeah, it's that pay it forward thing, eh? Yeah, I have anybody that knows me knows that somebody in the community helped me out a long time ago, and if it wasn't for them, I never would have been able to have my own garden. I never would have been able to find strains, buy seeds, know what I was doing. But, you know,
I can go one further on
you're
that.
absolutely right, Lori. And as much as I hate it, Marcel is one of the people that I have to thank, because if it hadn't been for Marcel, I wouldn't have known all of this stuff. I wouldn't have known where to look. I wouldn't have had someone saying research.
When I started doing this show, and
I never had anybody to help me.
Well, that's what I'm getting at, Marcel. When I started doing this show, I didn't have anybody to help me. I was doing research on my own to try and help a friend's sister with Lynch syndrome. Okay?
Yeah.
And I met Lori, and I met Amy Brown, and I met Amy Case King, and I met Brian, and I met Dave, and I met Marcel, and all these other wonderful people, and I've had Rick come and help me and talk to me. That's why I do this show. This is me learning. Having all these people here to talk to is me playing in my living room. And if you'd like to be a part of it, there's a segue right there. Let us know. Get a hold of Brian, get a hold of Marcel, get a hold of Lori, get a hold of any one of us and say, hey, I'd like to join the conversation, and we're here. You can also email me at stacker@lifestyleradio.ca. Yay me. That just had to throw that in. Yeah. You know, I joke around a lot, but this is a very serious topic. And these are very serious people, and we are all patients except for Brian. And we're all here just doing this, trying to have some fun, lighten the mood, and educate some people, or medicate.
Did you say
people.
Brian's not a patient?
Well, he wasn't when he joined a while back. He comes back as one, I guess.
It's still not legal here. He's not even medical in my state.
It doesn't matter. My feeling is all use is medical, even recreational.
I've always been a recreational user, and now that I'm actually hurt and need it, I guess it is medical now.
And it was medical before.
Yeah, Marcel and I share that view.
You just didn't realize it.
So do I.
Not alcohol.
What was that?
It's not alcohol.
Right.
And
you
that is such
you used
a big
it before. You told yourself you used it before because you really liked getting high and out of it and things like that. But you were also doing it to de-stress and relax instead of using alcohol.
Yeah.
Right? So that's medical.
It's interesting.
So you're using it as an antidepressant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it too. If I have somebody tell me that they use it recreationally, I usually go, "Oh, really? Cool. For what?" And then they'll say, "I have bad knees. It helps me relax. I sleep better."
Recreationally would be somebody that uses it once a month.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. If you're using it more than 2 or 3 times a week, you're using it medicinally.
Well, hold on a second, because I know people. I know people that only use it like aspirin. You know, when they have an ache or they have a pain, and sometimes that's months and months and months apart.
That's totally fine for them because they know that they're using it for medical then.
That's right.
They're not telling you that it's recreational.
You're right there, but there are people that use it as little as that, but they still use it.
Yeah, but they're using it medicinally, not recreationally.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking about a true recreational user would only use it once or twice a month to get high.
There's no
2 or
thing.
3 times a week.
There's
you're
no
using
such
it
thing.
to relax or de-stress. Which is the same thing that you can get from pharmaceuticals. You're just taking a much safer option.
You see, there's no such thing as recreational, though, dude. I mean, is there recreational drinking? They use.
Isn't that what I just said?
I know exactly.
You're very Al.
Yes.
You're very, very, very quiet. Can you turn your mic up just a little?
No, I don't want to.
There's some weird background noise there.
We got a hum or something going on.
I think it's Bob's phone.
I think it's.
Is somebody vacuuming next to you, Al?
No. I hear it. It's not me, though.
I don't think it's me.
I think it's.
No, it's from somewhere.
I think it's from Bob's phone. Is what it is.
Could be Bob's phone.
Yes.
Anyways, we can't keep Bob on the phone. Yeah, well,
well, that's what I was getting
at. Can you hear
at.
a noise?
We're trying. Let's. Yes. Hello.
I don't hear a noise.
Now it's stopped because it's. Let me just reiterate here what's going on. What's happening is when Bob goes static, his phone starts to because it's starting to pick up sounds in the background and things like that. But then as soon as he talks, it goes back down to.
More.
You should.
Well, yeah, right. We'll just have to talk.
Yeah, that's probably a mistake, but you know.
Bob, let me ask you a question about your the people who know you, your community, your friends, your family. How are they reading what's going on with you? Are you getting support? Are you getting people saying, he deserved it? Like what?
Oh yeah, I've got that all the time. You know, I'm not a real friendly kind of guy. I don't like I don't like people in general. But you know, some of my neighbors have expressed concern about their safety because my landlord's been going around saying that I'm, a drug dealer, and now I've been going around correcting everyone quite vocally and wearing my MC Pack T-shirt every chance I get.
I'd wear one if I had one.
What's that?
I said I'd wear one if I had one.
They're available on the website.
Yeah. That's right.
Yes.
Yes.
But I'm just curious as to how.
What's the URL for that website, Marcel?
How are they reacting to this? Because this is a big thing. This is a big thing in your life.
Oh, it is. I have a lot of friends who are close to me. They're like family. They support me in a very general way because they really don't know the impact or implications of it, but they know it's a good thing. So they're saying, hey, I heard you were on the news. Great stuff. And then I have, most of my family is just turned away from me to begin with because they think I'm out to lunch for using cannabis.
I understand that.
And I've
that.
It's.
What about the wider community? How are people reacting? Are you getting messages on Facebook? Are you getting people contacting you saying go Bob, do it?
Oh yeah, I've got all kinds of people saying that left, right, and center. Everywhere from England, New Zealand, on Facebook, and they're all saying, oh yeah, we're fighting for this too, and it's nice to know that others are doing it, but I'd like to see more local people getting involved and having discussions, while sitting at the coffee table, this has really got to open up more. And I don't think that the everyday person who doesn't use cannabis, I think these people are the ones who should be talking as well, because they have no idea what it could do for them, and they must by now know that it's not just some bullshit Cheech and Chong story.
So how do you react, Bob, when you have people that say, you're a druggie, Bob, face it, you're a loser, you're smoking pot, you're only faking, there's really not a lot wrong with you.
Gee, you don't have to be so harsh, Ellen.
How do you know? This is the kind of stuff that Marcel. This is the kind of stuff that patients do deal with when they get the funny looks and they get people saying, nothing but a druggie. How do you react to that, Bob? What are you doing to keep your mind sane?
It really affects me, and what I've come to realize is that when people say stuff like that, I have to look at them as if they were a 5-year-old. They have, a rudimentary idea of right and wrong, but they're really kind of messed up about it, and they really don't have any facts. So it doesn't matter what they say to me. I just have to pass them over.
I think that's... Yeah, and I think that you're absolutely right. They don't have the facts, and they don't know, and they don't have people in their lives. I've talked to people who let's call them the elite, that crowd of people that has money, that what's the expression? Wouldn't say shit if they had a mouthful. And suddenly, their nephew, their son, their brother is a medical cannabis patient, and it's complete change. All of a sudden, it's okay. It's the same. And this is a little bit of a personal story. When my husband, and this is when I was 6 years old, that we lived together in sin, and my parents were completely against this. But when it was me, it was okay. And that cannabis, all of a sudden, one of your family members are involved in this. And have you where suddenly they find out that, Aunt Jane is taking marijuana. That's her medication. Or Cousin Ralph is is a medical marijuana patient. Do you run into that kind of thing?
I've run into just about every level of it, really, on every aspect. It's like they look at you like you've just raped someone. If you mention marijuana at the wrong time to the wrong person. I mean, there's others that are surprisingly open to the idea. And that's shocking sometimes. But for the most part, the ignorance is just astounding.
Well, like I said earlier, 80 years of prohibition propaganda can go a long way, buddy.
Yeah.
It is fear, isn't it, Marcel?
Pardon me?
It is fear.
It's not so much fear. It's my grandmother taught me, my parents taught me, my teachers taught me, the police taught me, the government taught me, everybody taught me that it was bad. And you are telling me that they lied.
Fear of admitting that your teachers were misled?
Yeah. What they don't understand is everybody was lied to.
Right, exactly.
All right? And that's what they can't get past.
When my kids were teenagers, I spent a fairly substantial amount of time explaining to them how drugs couldn't kill, how you should not smoke marijuana because
that's what you were taught.
Exactly.
Right?
And now I'm saying to my kids, okay, use disorder, and I won't go into details about that, but I'm saying drop it. And if it were
exactly.
one for me.
And I think our sound's cutting out, so we should take a break.
Yeah, I think so. And Bob, are you okay to sit in a little longer, or do you want to get going soon? Yep. Okay. So we'll be back. This is the 420 Radio Show. We are live on lifestyleradio.net. Come in the chat room. I'm going to stop saying that now. We got some BB King and some Bonnie Wright because it's the wrong place at the right time, or the right place at the wrong time.
Time. Just need a little brain salad surgery. I got to cure my insecurity. But I've been in the wrong place. Must have been the right time. And I've been in the right place. But it must have been the wrong song. I've been in the right vein. But it seemed like a wrong arm. And I've been in the right world. But it seemed like a wrong.
be like this year.
Well, yeah.
The location is going
We're
to be
back. Hello.
Is that the one I was told people were like playing music all night long?
Yes.
Oh. We're talking about a festival that is out east called what? Peace East? Is that what it's called?
Peace East.
Peace East out in
Where is
Halifax.
this year, Marcel?
I think this year it's going to be in Muscadaubet, Middle Muscadaubet.
Who to what? Where?
Middle Muscadaubet. I went to school out there.
Yeah. Well, that's where PCs is going to be, so there's probably a good reason for it to be there. Right?
Is that where Ma and Pa Kettle
Oh,
came
yeah.
from?
They probably have my plants growing out back the high school still.
Little Muscadaubet? That's
Bob,
the name of it?
can you tell me again, Bob, how it is that you haven't been arrested yet?
I have no idea.
Blind luck.
Absolutely.
Maybe you should try growing out back of the school
arrested,
again.
But I've never been arrested.
No, I never have either.
I have not been arrested for a cannabis offense. Everybody, why did everybody get quiet?
Actually, I haven't been arrested.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, we could change that if you like.
I know. I just try and maintain that I can be smarter than cops. And at this age, I'm just trying to maintain that I'm not breaking any laws.
The headline tomorrow on the first news post that I make will be Marcel Gignac goes to jail.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
right.
For educated people.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody shut up for a minute.
Oh, God.
And
Okay.
I want you
No,
to
that
tell me
noise is back.
if my oh, fuck off, Marcel.
Oh, I'm serious.
I know you are, you asshole. Is Mike working properly now? Am I cutting out or am I good?
You're good, I guess. You sound pretty good to me.
That humming noise came back.
Hey, Ellen, let me just get to the bottom of this. Can I ask a question? Ellen?
You can.
What are you wearing?
Yes, ask.
What are you wearing?
Piss off.
It's fine.
I'm wearing sweatpants and a sweater. It's all baggy. There's no.
I can't believe you told
no
him.
curves.
Seriously.
Such an asshole. You are such an asshole.
So, can I ask you this?
Are you married, Ellen?
I am. Yes, I am.
Al isn't.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
But after
he's got a car,
and I have a car. Yeah. Ellen, would you like to? Would you like to do your news now?
Yes, my dear Al.
Would you like to do your news?
Oh God,
I think it'll be fun with that hum in the background.
You're drunk.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's why she hasn't shut up. She's
Maybe
drunk.
she really did get a new friend today.
Not.
Great. We, who don't promote the use of alcohol other than my occasional drink of scotch,
yes,
now have a drunk news host.
Yes.
You just completely cut out there, Marcel.
Probably good because you probably start to slur you're starting to slur your words now. I might have to start calling you Liquor Pig.
Oh, okay. No, I cannot. Stop talking because I cannot do my news because I just brought up my news.
She just brought up. You made her bring up.
Read your news.
Everything is frozen. I can't actually get half of my news. My computer has actually frozen. So you're gonna have to.
So Ellen's computer got drunk as well.
Always an excuse about that damn computer.
And the news will be on hold.
Yeah,
no news.
We'll be back tomorrow with the news.
News has to be on hold.
We're going to start pre-recording the news.
I think we're going to start pre-recording the news.
We're gonna have to do that.
We're going to have to do it in the afternoon when there's no liquor involved.
I just want to reiterate: this is a show about cannabis, not booze.
Somebody
Okay.
gave me this bottle of wine.
All I heard was a bottle of wine.
Was it cannabis wine?
Cannabis wine later. Later it will be.
Why later? Why not now?
Well,
because she's too drunk.
My poisons.
She's too drunk to light a joint.
I didn't know you.
I can do my news now. I have my news up.
Oh, here we go. The news.
All right.
Yep. Hold
this
on.
Is live, the 420 radio show.
News.
Drunken news.
Yep. She's got it up now, so she's going to read the news.
So we are actually on air now.
Oh, yes, we are. Yes, we have been.
We've never been off.
Oh, good. Okay, so to all of my fans out there, I apologize because it's not my fault. It's Marcel's fault.
Yes, it's always Marcel's fault.
Yes, I force-fed her liquor.
The Canadian government says that, too.
Yeah, from 2 hours away.
Okay. For the 420 news this week, if everyone else will stop talking, I have a little bit of good news from Pennsylvania. The Senate there passed a legislative proposal that would create a functional marijuana program. And this is good news because Pennsylvania has been just sort of waffling on this.
Waffles.
And from the High Times news this week, we see a report
with strawberries.
that Indiana's first cannabis church has announced it plans to hold its first ever reefer revival at the beginning of July. According to the World Report, a ceremonious gathering, boy, that's a big word, a ceremonious gathering, will be held at the local church, and a musician will play Amazing Grace on a harmonica. And it will be followed by a sermon from the pulpit, and a discussion will be held over the congregation's state of personal affairs. Bill Levin, the mastermind behind the church, says it is at this point that he will invoke the marijuana sacrament, and this is very serious stuff, a sacrament, and he will call together the capacity crowd to smoke until the sanctuary is filled with smoke. The reason they're doing this appears to be to test law enforcement and the laws themselves, but Mr. Levin says he's not worried. Good luck to this church. And what's being held as the world's first, two groups, including the McGill University Health Center, have launched a registry of medical cannabis users. The new research database is aimed at collecting information on how cannabis is used and monitoring patient safety. The data registry for this registration is not supposed to have any identifiable patient information, and in order to protect their privacy, the participation in the project is not automatic. Interested patients would take part for 4 years, but not everyone is pleased with this registry. Excuse me. One prominent cannabis activist calls it a form of extortion, since it's now the only way that Quebec patients will be marijuana. And I quote this: when you say registry, right away the first thing you think that comes to mind is sex registry or offender, and you have a stigma. This is Mark Boris St. Maurice, the director of the Montreal Compassion Club, saying this. The longtime activist doesn't like the name or the mandatory nature of the Quebec Cannabis Registry. Quebec can only prescribe medical marijuana if they and their patients agree to take part in the registry, which is essentially a clinical trial. Dr. Yves Robert, secretary of the Quebec College of Physicians, said, "It's really, in my view, a kind of hypocrisy on the part of politicians to wash their hands on the shoulders of physicians and to wash their hands considering the safety of patients. The College of Physicians forcing people to participate amounts to extortion." In Nova Scotia this week, not this week, in June, lawyers will go before federal court in Halifax to ask the court to certify the proposed class action on behalf of 40,000 medical marijuana users whose privacy was breached by the Health Canada Accord in 2013. They were mailed envelope that had the Marijuana Access Program clearly visible. There are 2,105 Nova Scotia class members in this case. The lawsuit alleges that Health Canada was negligent, careless, and reckless in sending out the mailing. None of the allegations have been tested yet in court. In local news, we have Bob Dillman, and he's with us tonight, so we don't actually have to go through this news. We can just ask Bob. Bob, are you there?
Yes.
I'd really like you to give a recap, though, if you don't mind. I'm just kidding.
On March 4th, the Halifax City Police Department charged medical cannabis patient Bob Dillman and his wife, both from Dartmouth, with possession and production of cannabis due to illegal. This was all due to a legal quagmire created by the Aire decision in federal court in British Columbia, and the changes to the federal medical marijuana. I'm getting all messed up with my talking here because I know Bob's here and I'm excited. Bob was arrested.
She wants you, Bob.
Was arrested.
Bob, was it exciting?
Bob's living on a fixed income, and he was unable to afford the cannabis from licensed producers, so Bob was producing his own. And at one time, he did have a license to do this. This week, he received word that all charges were dropped for him and his wife. Bob, let us know exactly what you think about this. Give us the story.
Well, I think it's the government's way of saying we were wrong, you were right, and we don't want to admit it. I mean, that's basically what they did. Because when they walked out of my place, they took all my plants and my grow equipment, and yet they stood up in court and said there was no evidence. I mean, I used to be a corrections officer, and I'm pretty sure I know what evidence is, and that's what it was. So if they really had anything to go on, they would have charged me and kept on going, but they didn't. And the fact that I think it was a prosecutor. What'd you say?
I was going to ask you if you have heard anything back from the police department to this point.
Oh, no.
We will give you back your stuff. No? Nothing?
Nothing. Nothing from them whatsoever. And that's the protocol for them. They'll keep their mouths shut because then they'll expect you to not do anything. And because of the civil forfeiture law, they could sell my equipment and profit from that money. People don't know that.
Somebody's at the door for you, Bob.
Yeah?
Yeah,
there was the doorbell.
What did they do when they came in? When they knocked on your door, what did they say? What was the reason for them coming into your house? Or
they said, Bob Dillman, we have a warrant. We want to serve you with papers. We want to search your property. And I said, pass the writ under the door, and they did so. And I called Dorothy out. I said, Dorothy, I want you to remain calm and sit down in the living room. They're raiding us. And I opened up the door.
Okay.
And in walks, 8 cops, one RCMP officer and 7 real cops. And then they, came in and they had the one RCMP officer trying to organize the whole thing. And then they had one city police officer that was trying to talk to Dorothy. And then they had some other clown who was instigating with me, trying to say smart-ass comments, trying to get a rise out of me. And because I just embarrassed him with facts, he pretty soon shut up. But, it was just, they were treating me like a punk, like they always do, to provoke someone, and I wasn't biting. And believe me, I wanted to.
Tell us what you showed them. What paperwork did you have to show them?
Oh, geez. I showed them paperwork going back from 2008. You know, going right from the MLA's office right up to the PMO's office. Correspondence with them. I showed the court injunctions that I'm part of, showed them, the letters from the clinic saying, I've got multiple chemical sensitivities surrounding petrochemicals. I can't use pharmaceuticals because of that. It's common sense. If the man can't use pharmaceuticals, and this is the only program that works, and the government made him a criminal now, obviously this law is unjust and cannot be enforced. Now, if they allowed me to keep on going to trial, I would have made this a human rights issue and everything else, constitutional, and they would have lost big time. That's the reason why they started with me, because the legal aid lawyer told me beforehand, she said, I've never seen this happen, but since it's happened with you, I've seen it happen right across the province now. She says, I'm not sure what's going on, but whatever it is, it's cascading. And I know damn well what it is. They know what's wrong, we know what's wrong, and nobody's going to enforce this.
Maybe they've now finally realized how much money they were wasting.
Yeah, and you think that they're afraid of a constitutional challenge because they're going to lose, Bob?
Oh, they are going to lose. And if you do any research into how the budgets are circulated around this cannabis arresting and all this stuff, the courts are basically run from this money. Like, it's unbelievable. It's a machine.
I'm wondering if maybe you know, or Marcel or Al, someone must know, how dependent our police departments are on medical cannabis or any kind of cannabis busts.
60% of
does that mean?
60% of the drug offenses last year were cannabis related.
Okay.
Right.
Now, how much money does that mean to our police departments? Now, I know what I've seen in the States. I know that the Americans, that every bust means money. Is that the same in Canada? Do we every time someone gets busted, is that more money for that particular police department? Does it mean
It works out pretty much the same way. It's just done in a different fashion. Because I know how the budgets are done up, basically, for correctional facilities, for example. Like, if somebody gets arrested, right, the officer has a piece of paper that has this person's name on it, okay? Now, I won't go into the technical terms, but there's different phrases for these pieces of paper. Now, I'm a police officer, and I have you, and I have this piece of paper. When I hand this piece of paper over to the sheriff, we'll say, which is Marcel takes that piece of paper. Each time that piece of paper gets handed over to someone, it gets counted onto somebody else's budget.
Right.
So if I arrest you, it gets counted onto my budget, then the sheriff's budget, then the correctional facility's budget.
And the courts and the prosecution and the...
Exactly.
So then you have court clerks, the staff.
Yeah.
And then you have the
Marcel,
prosecution.
say that again.
You also have, there's a lot of costs that people don't stop and think about. All right? Police will come in and do a raid. Most times they'll do the raid with officers that are no longer on shift because they can't take on-duty officers to a raid.
Right.
So the off-duty officer automatically gets the raid or gets to go on the raid and gets paid overtime. So it's basically asking for volunteers who wants a bigger paycheck. Everybody puts out their
Exactly.
Eight
and I think Leap Canada had a quote saying that an RCMP officer that made something like $65,000 a year on his base pay would get up to $120,000 a year just by volunteering, just by the overtime and whatever. That's how much of a boost it is. So anyone with the right mind can tell me that a cop wouldn't do that is a liar.
Right. I mean, it's just given, and they love the outdoor growing season because it means lots of overtime and lots of money for Christmas. But the added costs on top of that keep going because after the police,
I live on a river, and the helicopters and the planes, they follow the river, and
that's a whole separate issue for cost, though, when it comes to a rating a patient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
this
is a patient.
Now,
so in Bob's case, you now have 8 police officers being paid, with probably at least half being paid overtime.
Yeah.
And they take it back.
So they're not.
But they take all of the evidence back to the lockup. So now there's an evidence worker that has to sign off and work on that. So that's an added cost. Then they've got to go to the prosecutor. So the officer that takes it to the prosecutor is getting paid for that.
And the administration is writing it all up.
And the administration is writing it all up. So these are all little hidden costs that people don't think about. The prosecution's office gets it. There's all added costs from their staff. If charges are laid, then there's added cost to the court. Because now you have to have the sheriffs there. You have to have the clerks do all of the clerical work. And the judge.
Duty counsel.
Okay, Marcel. Now, this is all public tax money, right?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is what the public don't understand.
Yeah.
So
millions and millions and millions of dollars are spent in each province in this country to prosecute people for cannabis.
Sick people.
And these cases are being thrown out of court. So basically, it's taking taxpayers' money and lighting it on fire and pissing on it.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, that's all it is.
Well, it's actually worse than that because I mean, you take a look at the cost involved. Here it is. Let's say Marcel grows his at what cost would you say per gram?
Less than 10 cents.
Less than 10 cents per gram. He's not violating anyone's rights. He's not harming anyone. He's just treating himself. Now, instead of that, the government wants Marcel to spend, insane amounts of money to buy it from someone else. And then if he doesn't do that, they're going to put him in jail. And guess what? If Marcel has a headache, do you know how much Tylenol costs in jail to the taxpayer? $1.85 a pill. That's $1.85 a tablet for Tylenol. Generic Tylenol, mind you, not the good stuff.
There is no.
You know what I mean?
So I think that what we're saying to, or what we've come down to, is that this is a huge educational thing. We have to educate doctors.
If I go to jail,
lawyers.
I'll be educating prisoners.
And
when they get out, they'll have viable medicine.
And I'll tell you something right now. There is a police officer who is a very good friend of mine, and I avoid speaking about this with him particularly.
Why?
But
cops have good pop. I'll tell you right now, because they only keep the best for themselves.
Well, I don't know about this one because, as I said, I avoid discussing this with him. But we really do need to educate police officers that we are not criminals. We are sick people. Here's the problem with that. Police officers are brainwashed to believe what they're told. They're also limited they're limited in what they are willing to do because they're risking a $60,000 a year job in some cases. Exactly.
In a lot of cases, it's more than that.
Yeah.
So they're forced to choose between their lives or a moral belief. Now, me personally, I know cops, and I believe that cops have no morals because they do this. Anyone who does this has no morals. And I'll say that to any cop to their face.
I'll stop you now on that one because I do know some cops that have morals, because I've been teaching some cops. All right? And
I've had some ask me,
want to learn, and I'm more than happy to teach them, and these are now becoming compassionate police officers.
And some
that'd be. I like that term.
Actually go into being police officers, and as I said, I have a friend, and this is why he did it. He went into it because he thought he could do good.
Right, but then they're brainwashed into to protect the laws that protect corporations, and that's it, and that's the issue. But now we have. But we had a patient here that was in the middle of medicating. I won't describe how, but it would be pretty embarrassing to have a bunch of cops bust into your bathroom. They took his medicine, and they apologized for doing it.
Yes.
And the reason they apologized for doing it is because they were following orders, and they had no choice.
Yep. And that's really scary, isn't it?
No, that's not really
Germany all over again.
It is. It's Nazi Germany. The Gestapo said the same thing. We were just following orders. And that's why the laws need to change. The only way we can change the laws is by changing perception.
But it's brainwashing. From the time, I'm 54 years old.
So stop the brainwashing.
Yeah, but what we listen to, what did we listen to when we were kids? Anybody who's 50 or older, that drugs can kill, drugs can turn you into a loony. So if you've got a cop who's over 50 or
kids
even over 40,
hear that now.
Yeah.
It's not 50 years ago. Kids are still hearing that.
But I'll tell you
now. The difference being is,
most
people have
kids
information.
Are smart enough now to know. Most kids are smart enough now to know. I know my parents smoke drugs, and they're not loonies, and they're not criminals, they're not crazy. Kids know. I think.
Kids are learning. But I have a 14-year-old, and I have a 14-year-old in school that goes to junior high school. She tells me blatantly 75% of the kids in her school think cannabis is bad and dangerous.
Do they really still think that? Because I don't think I did. I was in school in
They're
in
indoctrinated
the
with it.
Because this is what they're taught.
So the programming.
Right? So it's children like my kid that are educating those kids and informing them.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So how can we do better, Bob and Marcel? Question to you: how can we do
we're
better
doing
as
it.
patients?
We're slowly
This is
doing
the only way you can do it.
We've got
you
to
have
educate
to
the
fight
public, and we've got no choice but to do it almost individually, one-on-one. What you said about a room full of doctors with me in there for a while, they would come out very well educated. All right, but the problem is getting them to overcome the barrier to go in and hear that everything that they've ever been told has been a lie.
Yeah.
All right, and people don't like having that bubble bursted.
And
people have
at the top of. Go ahead.
People have to start standing up and saying, "Look, okay, I use it, and it doesn't harm me." And they have to be able to say it no matter where they are, to no matter who they're talking to. Because until they can, it's really not fair or reasonable to expect anyone else to be able to do anything.
And that's right.
Because,
I mean, Bob is 100% correct. I can go into something like the Health and Wellness Expo and put on a 45-minute talk to the people in that expo about the medicinal benefits of cannabis using my own experiences as a proven practice.
Right.
Okay, I want to ask.
The faces drop.
All of you.
But Alan, you're not listening. The faces drop on these people near the end of the conference when I tell them that I use 30 grams of cannabis today, and at that point I've already got 20 or 25 grams in me.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
I didn't stand there. I wasn't Cheech and Chong. and I wasn't stoned and fallen down, I can go in and speak. There, now I've even lost my word for it. But I can go in and speak logically.
You can articulate really well.
There you go. That's
cannabis.
karma kicking you in the head, buddy.
But we have to realize, Marcel, that you are one of the few people that can use 30 grams of cannabis a day and still walk. Very, very.
But others. I disagree with that.
Many people.
I disagree with that. Yeah, many. Yeah.
Because, I mean, I have friends that have licenses for 100 grams a day, and they function just as well as I do.
Yeah, me too.
I was speaking to a friend in San Francisco yesterday, and he has epilepsy, very, very serious epilepsy, and he's had surgeries, and he's had all kinds of stuff. And when I told him that I had a prescription for 10 grams of cannabis a day, he was blown away.
Because he thought it was a lot.
And then when I told him I have a friend who uses 30 to 40 grams a day, he said, I can't do that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This is somebody who uses cannabis, and he treats himself, and he has a license. He's in California. It's easy.
He just needs to learn how to use it the right way.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm sitting here thinking, too. We use it in a way that a lot of people don't, I guess.
Yeah. Well, look at Allison Meriden. What does she use? She uses something like 56 grams a day?
Yeah, I can probably... I'd run out of fingers if I started counting all the people I know that use an ounce or more every day.
Yeah.
And
there are a lot of us.
The thing that really bothers me is, why are these people hung up on amounts? If it works for you, if that's what you need, if
really,
that's
what
your
it is we had a court case here in Amherst where the prosecutor brought in an expert witness from the RCMP who went on the stand and said that anybody that used 5 grams of cannabis in a day would be comatose.
Yeah.
Oh, good God.
All right.
I use twice that a day.
When the next two witnesses go on the stand and totally embarrass the prosecutor and both admit to using 30 and 25 grams a day, it kind of blows out that expert witness testimony, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So what do we do, Marcel and Bob? What do we do? What is the answer? How do we educate? What is the best way to proceed? What do we do?
I think the best way to educate is grassroots, just like Marcel said. Because until we start knocking heads one by one and telling people, no, this here is bullshit. You know why? Me.
There's people right across the country that are doing this, and this is why the increase is happening so much. Right? For people coming out of the closet. We have a lot of sick people in this country that use cannabis that hide the fact that they use cannabis.
Right.
But because we're becoming more public and out there doing public events and not cannabis-related events, and speaking at health expos and seniors expos.
Marcel is not the personification of a pothead. I am not the personification of a pothead.
And there's lots of us that aren't the personification of a pothead.
I'm a church lady.
Well, and
you know.
Oh, my condolences.
I'm not that broken.
No,
hey, I run a $50,000 a year eBay business, and then a $250,000 a year foundation repair business. So.
Exactly. Yeah, we and I know people who are you would call the elite that use cannabis as a medication. But how do we, as patients, come out? And we've got the bad rap. We've got
I'll start putting on classes and people come and learn.
Yeah, I think personally, I think what we have to do is exactly what Marcel and the folks from MUM and the people down east have started doing, is actually going out to health expos and like the Brain Health Matters and aging expos and places like that, and just set up a table and sit there. People will come up and talk to you.
We went to a health and wellness expo,
right.
and The presenters that were there, or the ones that had booths that were there, loved the fact that we were there. Every person that came in loved the fact that we were there.
Was there any negative comments?
Not one.
And this was a non-cannabis related.
A non-cannabis event. There was not one negative comment. Every person that stopped got educated. And we're very happy.
Marcel.
And it was easy to tell they were being educated because they kept asking questions. We had people staying at the booth asking questions for 2 and 3 hours.
Yeah.
All right?
That's how it's done. Yeah,
and
I think that's...
And proved exactly how we've got to get this into the mainstream.
Yeah. And need people to start asking us questions instead of us pounding shit over their heads.
Yeah, but I did that talk, and I got nonstop phone calls and emails.
Yeah, and you're not 19, Marcel.
I'm 52.
You're a legitimate. You're grown up. You're an adult, and you're saying I've got MS, and this helped me. And I can say I've had an aneurysm.
But it's kind of gross.
Yeah, I have a traumatic brain injury, and it's helped me. It's kept me alive. It's helped me from committing suicide. It's helped me whatever. I'm depressed. This isn't me, but it's helped my depression. It's
and that's exactly what we're doing. So the next one that we're doing is the 50 Plus Expo for the seniors.
Exactly.
In Halifax.
Right on.
Because I've known for a fact for years and years and years that the seniors are the ones that are responsible for the majority of votes.
And that's the highest the highest group that uses medical marijuana now is 50 and over.
Right. So we're going to bring it to mainstream to them and educate them. They can educate their children.
Yeah.
All right.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
That they were misinformed.
When is that, Marcel?
It's in June, the beginning of June.
Yeah. Let me know. I'd be interested in attending that. I'd give you a hand there setting up or something.
Yeah. Well, Mom's putting it on. And then, like I say, Mom's putting on the other event in PEI with Marijuana for Trauma and the MCPAC. And that's an all-day event.
Let me be the example. Well, for a moment, anyway, let me be the example.
I don't know if we have enough time because we're almost out of time.
I was going to mention our event there.
50 plus years old, never was a druggie, never wanted,
Then she met me.
But all of a sudden, I had an aneurysm. I had an aneurysm burst. I was put in the hospital. I was 3 months in rehab. Couldn't walk, couldn't talk, couldn't do most anything. Came out, recovered slightly, started a medical marijuana, and boom, all of a sudden, I have a life. I can think, I can talk, I can move my right arm, I can move my left arm, I can do stuff. None of this would have happened, none of it, without medical marijuana. None of it.
Yeah.
I can say, yes, on Saturday I'll be there, because I know that if I continue with my prescribed medication, I am not going to be throwing up in the bathroom because I have a migraine or because of something else.
Yeah.
We're not loonies. We are really patients, and this medication really works.
Well, that's it. And when somebody said something earlier about how many people go to their doctor begging them for Neurontin or Percocets or OxyContin, or we're begging them for cannabis, for God's sake. Hello.
You're right, Lori. You're absolutely right.
But don't forget the doctor's got that stigmatism too. But anyways, let's wrap it up, Bobby. Great to have you here again. Congrats on the win, even though it's kind of only a partial win.
Congratulations! I'm so pleased that this has been for you.
And then Al, I'm sure you want to get a final say in here.
I just I'm having so much fun. I'm at the point I'm just sitting here absorbing everything. That's what I like to do. Next week I don't know what's going on, but something will be going on.
There's always something going on.
Yep, Brian is lining up guests as we speak.
Possibility someone from Dr. Grow might be on the show if they're available.
Yeah.
What was that, Brian?
possibility someone from Dr. Grow LLC in Denver will be on the show. I'm trying to set that up right now. They're interested in coming on.
Those things come off the trees. Like,
I went ahead and sent y'all a link so y'all can study up on that.
I'm getting the voice of a very small child.
Yeah, my 5-year-old just walked in here and gave me a flower.
Just passed him the bomb.
Here's
the bomb, Dad.
My 4-year-old grandson's been really nice and quiet tonight. I'll have to give him a big hug in the morning.
I'm so glad you were here tonight, Lori.
I really enjoyed it. I've missed hanging out with everybody.
Oh, Lori,
glad you were here.
I didn't get a chance. All right, Ellen, stop. Lori, do you want to share your letter?
Oh, geez, yes. I guess that's how we'll close it out. On March 26th, I sent an email to all federal leaders in Canada asking them to specifically outline for our organization what their position is with regard to cannabis as medicine. And we wanted a detailed response because generalization really wasn't much good to us. How they feel about it and what they plan to do going forward. So, I got a response from Elizabeth May not long after I sent the letter. And today I received a really fancy PDF file attached to an email from Justin Trudeau. Hand signed by him, all full color logo, letterhead, and all that.
Can you say that name again,
and
please?
It says,
can you say the name
thank
again,
you
please? First,
now,
Lori.
Keep in mind I asked about medicinal cannabis, okay? And it says, thank you for taking the time to write me with the Medicinal Cannabis Patients Alliance of Canada's questions regarding the Liberal Party of Canada's stance on medical marijuana. And I went, oh, okay.
You didn't even ask about marijuana, did you?
No, actually. It goes on to say, I support the legalization of marijuana for a multitude of reasons, including for medical purposes. So, that sounds sort of like an afterthought, but okay.
Yeah.
Government policy should always be based on scientific and evidence-based research, and the Conservative government's war on drugs is not working, as the current system is neither cost-effective nor beneficial to Canadians. This includes the failed approach that the government has taken on medical marijuana. The use of medical marijuana as a physician-prescribed treatment is common for many people across Canada, and it is important they have access to a responsible and safe avenue for treatment. With these type of policies, we can responsibly regulate the distribution and use of marijuana in a way that benefits Canadians both socially and economically. With this approach, marijuana use, and more importantly, abuse, can finally be treated as a health issue and not a criminal one. What about medicine was my thought there. Final paragraph, thank you again for contacting me on this important issue. It is through an exchange of ideas and opinions that I can best represent not only my constituents but all Canadians. Sincerely, Justin P.J. Trudeau, Member of Parliament for Papineau.
Now, isn't he on the board for one of the LPs or something like that?
I don't know if he's on the board.
What's that?
I was going to say, I don't know if he's on the board of an LP, but Chuck Raffici is the chief financial officer of the Liberal Party, and he was the chief executive officer of Tweed.
Okay. The
one that wears that profiteer, #profiteer t-shirt, yes.
Yes. The profiteer t-shirt guy.
I'm really torn on this. The reason I'm really torn is because I'm a liberal and I'm a green, both. But any conversation I've had about this with any liberal, and I'm talking from the top of the heap to the bottom of the heap, has been that they support patients growing their own or having people grow for them. And take this with a grain of salt, because this is politics. Things can change in an instant. But they did support a short time ago patients growing their own or having someone grow Whether that's changed, I don't know. But at
it's going to change because I mean, they have the right idea, they just don't know how to implement it. So I'll take it to them to show them how to implement it. Anyways, we're past our prime time. So Al,
we are. Yes. Of course.
Al, close us out of here and get us gone. And Bob, great having you on, and we'll let you out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go because I be stripping tonight. So.
You're stripping.
Thank you, Bob.
Oh yeah.
Bob, thank you for being on. Lori, all of you, thank you very much.
I don't even want to ask.
Being here.
Yeah, I don't want to see pictures.
Thanks for the invite, folks. I had a wonderful time tonight, and it was really cool to hang out again.
Listen, we're here every Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you never know who's going to show up or what we're going to talk about. It's the 420 Radio Show. We're going to say goodnight. I'm not even going to play another song. We're just going to go nighty boo-boos. We'll see you next week. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Ellen.
Night,
thank
folks.
you, Marcel.
All right, good night.
And thank you, Bob. Brian, always talk to everybody. Good night.
Peace out.
Talk to y'all soon.
Bye.
You like music, you like weed, well, we gonna be good friends indeed. This is how much I like more than smoking trees. They'll make you dance the do-si-do and teach you how the chiva grows. Smoke a bowl on the 420 Radio Show. On Lifestyle Radio.
So what are you doing? Nothing. Why not? I'm trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website. Sounds like a cool website. Yeah, it's alright. Oh, I might have it. You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
Good evening. I'm Coulter Wonkite. I'm already into the 420, damn it.
Girl of your dreams has gotta be in some bar.
Sorry, boys and girls, but this is X-rated. So if you're under 18...
Get out, goddammit! Get the point? Good.
And now? Bend over.
Y'all ready for this?
Get it up. Get it up. I can't wait anymore.
I like to watch.
Whatever you desire. I know you like it. Do it.
We do it all night long.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
Are you looking for non-stop, continuous cannabis and psychedelic programming? If you are, then turn your browsers to 420radio.ca or paceradio.net, where you will find the 420 Pace re-rolled Saturday. Everything gets started at 8 a.m. Eastern Saturday morning. You're watching the 420 Pace Network, found at 420radio.ca and paceradio.net. Stay tuned. We'll be back after this toke.
Hi, I'm Timmy.
And I'm Mary Jane. He's the newbie.
She's the doobie. And this is the show
where we
tote
cannabis.
Talk.
From both sides.
Is that even possible?
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not